So I never knew back at that time that this is a profession, basically, like to understand complex things and to write them in a simple language so that people could understand. I was always very curious about the fact that how do people, write such complex information in such simple language so that people who have no knowledge whatsoever about this are able to understand it.
Welcome to the Knowledgebase Ninjas Podcast, where Gowri Ramkumar of Document 360 finds the best SaaS self-service knowledge bases in the world and then interviews their creators. Let's get started with today's episode.
Good day, everyone. Our guest today is Shivam Gupta, Junior Technical Writer at HackerEarth. Welcome, Shivam, to the Knowledgebase Ninjas Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm all good. Thank you so much, Gauri, for this opportunity.
Fantastic. So the pleasure is ours, Shivam. So we were talking just before the call on various journeys you have gone through in the last few years. So just help me understand a little bit more about yourself. And again, how did you initially got into documentation?
Okay, so my name is Shivam Gupta, right? I have graduated from PSIT Kanpur in the field of information technology. So technology is what I was very fond of from very starting. But I got into creative writing in my initial days, and I was really good at it, according to people. So I thought, okay, let's do something about it. Let's try to pursue it as a profession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but the thing was that I also love technology. So I thought, let's create an amalgamation of both, and let's go to the field which has both the things, writing plus technology. So that's how I thought to go into, becoming a technical writer, and that's how I became a technical writer in HackerEarth.
Great. So you did mention that you did give us a background of your education. And
Yeah.
I understand you've done various internships as a content writer, and you have shared
Yeah.
some of your experience, right? Um,
Uh,
so please feel free to bring that out again. And I'm just curious to know what did you learn from your previous experiences that's helping you today at HackerEarth?
Yeah. Okay. So content writing is one of the things which is basically technical writing, is one of the things which is not one of those what to say, conservative kind of profession, right? Like people choose to be engineer, doctor, and everything. Writing is not considered to be that kind of profession which people choose, basically.
Yeah.
Right. So they think that it takes some kind of effort, or you just have to have a kind of a talent for that or something like that. Yeah, that is necessary though. But people who practice and create that kind of talent in themselves, that they can also pursue writing as their profession. So what I started with was in my second year, I remember. So we had studies, and I thought, let's do something with my spare time. So I joined various internship with the help of Internshala. Uh, they were content writing internship, basically. So I joined one of the internship with the which was a blockchain blog, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So at a very early age, I learned about blockchains and everything, and cryptocurrency, and how they use it in the foreign countries and everything. So that made me curious. Like, okay, this is something which I love. To research about things and then write about them so that people could understand them in a simple language, right? So I never knew back at that time that this is a profession, basically, like to understand complex things and to write them in a simple language so that people could understand. I was always very curious about the fact that how do people write such complex information in such simple language so that people who have no knowledge whatsoever about this are able to understand it, right? So I was very curious about it. I came to know, okay, this is a profession, fine. So after that cryptocurrency blog, I jumped into something which is a blog related to pop technology, basically very trending kind of technology. For example, games, or kind of applications which are very trending. So I wrote some blogs for that. Basically, they were also help documentation kind of a blog, how to blogs and what to not to do, what to do kind of blogs which I wrote. Right. Again, it made me very curious about the field, the technical field, and about the research work. And then after my final year, I got placed in one of the companies from the campus itself. But I thought this is not enough for me. I thought I something else is my calling. I got selected as a software engineer for one of the companies, KFG. But I thought, let's do something different. So I got the offer, but I dropped it, and then I I pursued different field, basically writing as a field for profession, and then I started giving interviews for the same. And yeah, that's how hacker happened to me, and I'm so glad that this company happened to me. And all the things which I did in my past actually helped me to become better in my profession right now in present. Yeah.
That's very well said, Shivam. So, any opportunities you get, you grabbed it and learned from it, and trying to implement in your upcoming projects. So, it's really great to hear such an inspiring thoughts. I should also mention that you just graduated last year, right, in BTech.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Great. So, what are the important traits for a technical writer to have when job hunting, especially in the beginning of
Oh,
their careers, like yourself?
okay. So the thing which one needs to understand is that it's a struggling field. A lot of people think that just being a writer will make you a technical writer. So there is a big difference between that, basically, because when we start writing, we start as a creative writer, not as a technical writer, basically. Right? We start putting up our thoughts, and uh, part of technical writer is putting our thoughts, but in a way it can be presented to people or to a mass audience. So that's the difference between being a writer and a technical writer. So what people need to understand while job hunting for this profession is that they need to be very what to say they need to be very clear with their concepts of writing, basically. Like if someone tells you to research something, right? People are not lazy enough to research. They're lazy enough to write about it, right? So that is one of the things which is not needed in one person. You have to research about something. You can research about it for 6 hours to 7 hours, and then you can write, but you have to write it, right? So these are one two things which a person should have, like perseverance, patience, basically, very much. So it does not happen like magic, right? It is not like you will get in your first interview itself. It's very difficult in that way, though. But yeah, that happened for me, but that is not necessary to happen for everyone. You have to through various interviews, and even in HackerEarth, I had 5 rounds, I guess, 5 to 6 rounds I had, and then I got the final offer for junior technical writer. So yeah, patience, perseverance, and your technical aspects, your technical clarity is very important when you're job hunting. Yeah.
Again, super. So, the just sliding on to your documentation process. What can
Mhm.
you talk about with Hacker Earth currently? The process that you follow, and who do you normally interact during
Okay.
that process?
Okay, so the process is very simple. Like the thing is that it's very simple. Like we have SDLC, software development lifecycle. We have DDLC, document definition lifecycle, right? So what we do is that it's very simple. The first process is content requirement gathering, right? So what happens is that, for example, what I do in HackerEarth mainly is to maintain the help center of the HackerEarth, right? So the clients which we have, or the students we have, or the candidates we have, they have any problem with the platform or with our product, they can just go to the documentation directly, and they can understand each and everything which has been written down precisely in that, right? So for that, we come up with various features on HackerEarth every fortnight, or every month, basically. And that help center needs to be updated in that way, every month or every week, in that way. So
Mm-hmm.
the process is very simple in that way. What we do is I'm assigned to one of the developers who have developed that feature, right? So we have a long discussion about the feature. We have a kind of a demo first. So that is requirement gathering, right? So what we do is that I go through all the possibilities, like what could happen, what is the feature, what could be the drawbacks of the feature, and everything, along with the demo of the feature, right? And then I what I do is I quickly jot down the important notes. After that, I write a whole documentation about it, like how to basically, like how to use that feature, what are the benefits of that feature and everything. And what happened after that is that I get it reviewed by the same developer, like for the technical aspects, basically, like is there anything which I've missed from my side or something like that. If it is all okay, then it goes to my manager for the review, right? So she does the final checks and everything, and if it is good to go, we add it to the help center. That's how we add the things to the help center. Apart from that, what I do in HackerEarth is the UI UX editing, basically. So whatever we have as a product, right? Everything which is written on the product, everything, the text, the user interface, and everything. I check that. I review that. We have anything which needs to be shortened, which needs to be edited or something like that. That is what I manage, basically. So this is the basic process. It's very similar to what we have in DDLC. It's content requirement gathering, and then we work on it, review the document. Then after the final review, it has to be updated to the help center. That's what it is done.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
And again, going back to your vast experiences you had in various areas, you've been in writing for 7 years for various social
Yeah.
media packages. In
Yeah.
fact, as their head writer.
Yeah.
Right. So, what advice would you give to writers who are interested in transitioning into technical writing?
Okay. Yeah. So some of my juniors, they also like they were also creative writers from my side, and I used to train them for creative writing, basically, back in my college. So they are also thinking of transitioning to being a technical writer, and to them also, and to all of other people who are thinking of the same, I will just say this, that what you need to do is you do not have to put aside your creative part. That's not what is necessary. What you need to do is that you just have to be a bit formal in what you are trying to say, right? So that people could understand it. So for example, in social media, we also write for masses only, for the audience only. Again, a technical writer is also audience oriented kind of a writing only. But the thing is, this audience is kind of very specific kind of audience is there, right? You cannot write anything according to that audience. Very specific kind of, if I'm writing about my product, then people want to learn about my product, so I have to write in that way only. So that's how it is. You have to be very audience specific when you are becoming a technical writer, first thing. Secondly, very your language should be very simple. You should not use a lot of technical terms, is what I say, basically, because that's what people are here for, right? People are here to learn, like what is the meaning of these technical terms, what they are not able to understand, right?
Yeah.
So that's what is very necessary in these kind of things when you are trying to become from a writer to a technical writer. That's what you need.
Good. Fantastic. So, I also wanted to highlight another point about you because you've got so much to highlight, but you've completed various courses and certifications in programming languages like Python, software
Yeah.
development, IT services. So, again, just to help the community, what resources have you found to be the most helpful when it comes to technical writing?
For technical writing, okay. So I've been following your blog also, this knowledge base blog. This is really good. I really loved the way people told their experiences from such big organizations. It is very helpful for people, even for professionals like us. It is very helpful, so that we could understand and also review our work in that way, in that process, right? Apart from that, I really like this YouTube channel. Which is Technical Writer HQ is the name, right? And I really follow them, and they also have really good. They also try to explain technical writing and the various processes of technical writing in a very simple manner, which is very necessary because YouTube has a lot of information cluttered everywhere. And when people try to open the search bar and put in how to be a technical writer, people do not get the answer. So it's very necessary so that people could understand like how to, like they should know the path, basically how to be that. So what I follow is these two, your blog and Technical Writer HQ. And other than that, some blogs on Medium also I really like. Even we have a blog on HackerEarth which talks about assessment products and uh, which is headed by a marketing team, and that is also really good for technical writers, basically.
All right. Super. So you did briefly mention the whole process you follow in HackerEarth on the documentation, but particularly on your reports, how do you report on your documentation? What do you consider for preparing the reports, metrics, etc.?
So there's what we do in HackerEarth is there is a report basically which tells what can be. So for example, if we are doing any kind of a documentation, it gets reviewed at least two to three times, right? And then if we find anything which can be added into it, we just suggest it then and there in the document itself, and then it gets reviewed by a senior writer basically, or my manager, what I'll say, Tripti ma'am. So what we do is that we go to them and tell them that that's what I think should be added into it, and that's what the developer thinks should be added into it. So there is no such matrix which we follow basically, but I think this is more efficient in that way because it is direct. Whatever we have to change, we just do it directly, and then we just so that makes our process very faster. So that's how we work here. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so great. So in again, you can give your own opinion. Like, what's been the most important innovation when it comes to document tracking?
Most important innovation. I'll just say that varies from like people to people basically. So what I feel is that whatever I want to find about anything, I just try to find it myself. I try to go through various websites for the research and everything, right? And what we do in our process is basically we write a shared document which can be shared to everyone basically, and if people have any suggestions or any comments, they could just add the comments right there, which gets resolved also within an hour or two, so that the process remains smooth and hassle free. That's what we want to do. We want to make it faster because we have a lot of bandwidth, we have a lot of people coming in, we have a lot of articles in the pipeline, right? So we cannot just put in all my efforts in one article. That is what we do. We try to make it faster by sharing the document with the concerned people so that they can just put in their suggestions quickly, and I reiterate with the suggestions. That's what we do.
Fantastic. So, am I correct in assuming that your documentations are all publicly available?
Yes. Whatever documentations we write, basically, I told you right that what I manage is the HackerEarth help center. So it is publicly available, and you will be able to see all the help articles there, which gets updated every day or every month, basically. According to the new UI or new features. So yeah, they will be publicly available, and even we write the newsletters also, which is available to all our clients basically. So which tells them about the new features of the HackerEarth and what we are up to in HackerEarth every month. Yeah.
So, are you aware of any organic search traffic being generated from your knowledge base?
I think it helps a lot in that way for the organic research, for the organic search. And basically what I feel is that I as a technical writer, I'll say that whatever you write needs to go to the right audience, and knowledge base helps a lot in that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the rapid fire round. Just three more questions in this section.
Okay.
Again, who have you learned the most about documentation from in your career?
Oh, okay. So I have a lot of people to thank to, but the person I want to thank the most is my manager Tripti Padakone, who is right now director of content and operations in HackerEarth. Right. So she is very humble, and she always tells me if I'm wrong ever, and that is very important because when you become a professional, you feel that you are right all the time, but that is not the thing, and that is what she taught me. That if whenever you're wrong, you need to learn about it, and you need to make sure that you do not make that kind of mistake again. Right. So that's the person I have learned a lot of about technical writing, about life, about anything personally also. Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Trupti. So again, we can see you read a lot of content every day. So can you
Mhm.
share a documentation related resource you have consumed recently and helped you a lot?
Yeah, I told you I was going through this YouTube channel, right? Technical Writer HQ, and recently only I just found this article about process documentation, and they just wrote it in a document also, and they made a video about it also. Very well explained the points of process documentation and how business processes works and everything. So I'll just recommend you people to check that out. All the people who are listening to this, it's really good. The channel is not that big, but I really like the content. So yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for that pointers, Shivam. So my last
Yeah.
question to you today is, what is that one piece of documentation related advice you would give to your 20-year-old self? I should say you are very young as well, but
Yeah.
yeah, just to hear again from your experience.
Yeah, every year I feel that I am becoming wiser. So I'll just say that if I look back when I was 20 or 19, I'll say at that time I was just writing for the social media, right? I was not writing for the technical audience or for that kind of audience which I should have written for. So what advice I will give is to that person who is like 20, who is like 20 years. I'll just say that believe in what you're writing, and also know your audience. Know your audience is one of the things which Tripti told me and always tells me that you need to know your audience when you're writing about something, right? So I'll just repeat that the same to my 20-year-old self, that know your audience and believe in your writing, because people will mock you for now, but maybe someday you will be proud about what you write.
True, super. So I think with that, I'm all done with my questions. Do you have anything to cover that I have missed, Shiva?
No, I think that pretty much sums up. Yeah. Sorry.
All right, super. So once again, thank you for your time today. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, you did have quite a lot of experience to share with our audiences today, and especially with diverse range of activities you've done in the initial days, and how all those activities are helping you with your current profession. So
Mhm.
many more happy technical documentations to come your way. Good luck
Yeah.
with your projects.
Thank you so much, Gauri. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Knowledge-Based Ninjas Podcast. Please head to iTunes, rate, and provide honest feedback on the podcast. See you next week.